What's up, everybody? This is Dallin, Candland. We're back with Y.I.E.L.D. today, episode number 34. I am super duper excited. Holy cow, I just spent about an hour and a half making a calendar for this podcast and just planning out the rest of it. It was pretty humbling and crazy. So I have 9 interviews coming for you guys, coming your way. In July, it's going to be only interviews from some people that I've come to know and love, people that have listened to the podcast and have been touched by it and have even started their own podcast. There's just a great abundance and variety of people, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. The first one coming up is on the 15th, so this upcoming Monday, so I really hope you guys enjoy that. And there will be 3 solo episodes, so 12 episodes in total left of the show, and then I'll be launching the new podcast very first week of September. So that is Y.I.E.L.D. today. Like, that is it. Like, holy cow, can you believe it? That is crazy. So yeah, so there is definitely some great content coming up. I have been really learning a lot about this process, and I made a calendar, like I said, looking at how often I uploaded on Monday all throughout 2020, and it wasn't very often, but now lately I've been getting a lot better at it. I've definitely seen some improvement with it. But yeah, I've definitely seen some improvement with it, and I plan on being 100% on the Mondays unless I say I want to upload a Thursday episode. So yeah, just stay tuned. I'll try to keep you guys up to date with everything. So yeah, and I'll be launching my own blog pretty soon too. So there's just a lot of stuff coming up, so definitely stay tuned. Today I really wanted to talk a lot about loving the life that you have and creating the life that you want. You know, I feel like when I was kind of going through some rough times in my youth, it was because I felt like my life was fixed and there really wasn't anything I could do about it. And I really learned about how there was so much that I wasn't even thinking about. The power of, compounded effort, how that adds up over time, even just a tiny little bit, how it adds up a ton over time, and just changed my mindset completely over time and really helped me go after a lot of different things I would have not normally gone after. So yeah, I have 3 quick echoes that I want to call them. I want to call them echoes just because these are 3 very powerful ideas that I feel if everybody went after them, and if I just want this to be something that people remember me by, just period, because this is something that I've really learned to do, is just continue to trust in each of these things, and I'm thankful for. Yeah, so let's just start with number 1. Number 1, stop fighting for your limitations. This comes from Jim Kwik from his book Limitless that I've been reading from a lot lately, and I'm about halfway through it. My had a relative send it to me, and it has been so nice. Just really well timed book. Be a dream to get him on the podcast at some point, but we'll see what ends up happening. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you're already subscribed to the podcast Y.I.E.L.D. today, then you won't have to resubscribe to the new podcast. It's going to be on the same RSS feed, so you won't have to do anything, and you can decide if you want to keep listening after those first couple episodes come out. So that's that. Also, yeah. But yeah, fighting for your limitations, that is just, I feel like we all do that in different ways. We tell ourselves, like, we're going to get over this thing, we're going to change, we're going to start a new diet or whatever, and then we don't, and we make excuses, and we continue to give power to our excuses. We give power to our limitations. And I've just learned over time that this is complete bogus, and how you can literally learn something if you really want to. Lately, I've been trying to learn about music creation and juggling, and those are things that I just have an interest in, and I don't really know much about it. But if you have an interest in it and you want to learn, and you're willing to learn, then it's possible. So stop fighting for your limitations. You have a ton of time to pursue any of those things that you want to pursue. If you want to become a DJ, this is a great time to learn to become a DJ. There's plenty of people that are learning right now too, and there's podcasts about DJing, I'm sure. And yeah, so that's a big thing. So stop making the same excuses that you've been making for forever, because your life, there is a timeline here, there is a countdown going on. And I guess think of what the current part of your life that you're in right now. If you're in high school, there is a countdown going on to when you'll be out of high school. Hopefully you would be out of high school. And so you can make the most of that time before that happens. If you're in college, there's a similar countdown. And I don't know, this might not be the best way to look at it, but it's been helpful for me because I'm going to be here at home for only about another month. And I'm trying to get internships. I'm trying to get all these things figured out and just stop listening to past Dallin struggles and be like, blah, 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 what was me? It's like, shh, that's the past. That's over with. And, I just, there's so much happening right now, and there's a lot of different things happening in my life right now, and it's all because I'm just not trying to make the same excuses over and over again. And I guess it really comes down to, there's this really cool poem, and I think I've already talked about it on the podcast before, but this elderly guy is talking with his grandchild or son or whatever, and the son's like, Dad, how do I, like, what? He's like, he just tells his son this story, the granddad. He's like, there's two wolves. One represents all the good stuff, and one that represents all the bad stuff. The good stuff's like love and peace and waking up on time, and you can put whatever you want in there, getting your business on track, running, whatever, so that's the good wolf. And then there's the bad wolf, sleeping in, missing those deadlines, missing opportunities, whatever. And then the kid's like, hey, well, which wolf's gonna win? Because they're both fighting constantly, there's constant battle, so who's gonna win? It's like, the one you feed. It's the same thing. If you continue to love your limitations, you are going to be a limited person. And you're not made to be a limited person. You are an unlimited child of God. And if you don't believe that, there's plenty of history that says you don't have any limitations. The only limitations you have are the ones you put on yourself. And sure, like, you may not become the next Michael Phelps, but you can learn to love swimming, and you can get better at swimming, and you can find joy in swimming, and maybe you will get to the Olympics. I can't say you won't. It would take a lot of work and effort, but just stop fighting for those limitations, because so many of them you might have created them yourself. People might have put them on you, and it's just inaccurate to say the very least. So yeah, there's a lot more I could talk a lot about this thing. The last little thought I'll share is just that it's just like, when you start going towards something, and I already talked about this on an episode called Starting from Scratch, the power of starting from scratch, and it just goes on to say, like, people will want to help you when you're starting out. So with my music creation endeavors, there's this guy who does video game music, and he's willing to help me out, this guy on Twitter. And so I've come into contact with him because I want to learn about it, because he's somebody that's good at it, and he's putting himself out there and sharing how he's learned about making video game music. So there's tons of people that are trying to help out. I just listened to a really cool YouTube video from Pat Flynn about getting better at podcasting, and he just said, like, you want to be like the Yoda and everybody else is the Luke Skywalker sort of thing. Like, you're not the hero, they are, like, and I think there's a lot of truth in that. There's so many Yodas for whatever you want to get better at, and they can train you, they can help you out. Some will do coaching calls. Just stop making excuses, stop fighting for your limitations. I just love that idea because it's so true. I've struggled with my sleep schedule so bad lately, And yeah, just I'm not fighting for that limitation anymore. I'm just saying like 10:30 is my hard tech off. Just no more tech after 10:30 cuz I'm in college. There's literally no reason. I don't have a job where I would need to be up that late, or there's no reason. I could do everything before 10:30 easily. It's just time management and waking up. And lately I've been trying to wake up at a similar time instead of just being super happy that I woke up early, because that could be not super good. So just stop fighting for those limitations. Let's move on to number two. Number two is letting every single part of your life reflect your message. And this is just very powerful for becoming a more genuine person. And I just want people to know exactly who I am and why I am who I am, and to make that really clear, and to just help other people follow their dreams and be who they want to be. I'm trying to become who God wants me to become, but I'm also trying to become the best version that I kind of see myself as being. And lately I've been seeing that I'm more of an all-encompassed kind of person. I try not to do anything that doesn't like go along with my long-term vision. When I watch a movie, even like a Disney movie, I like to get something out of it. I like to learn from it. I like to be able to apply it to my life. And it's the scuba diving thing. So one of my very favorite lessons in church that I can think of was this guy, Tim Hester. He's a beast. He was sharing this idea that there's like reading your scriptures. You can apply this to anything. There's reading it, there's studying it, so like writing down, taking notes and stuff, and that's level 2. And then there's applying it. That's level 3. That is the deep dive. That is where it becomes part of you. That is where it becomes in your soul. That is where it gets in your identity. It's beyond a mere exposure. It is full on immersion. So you can relate this to swimming. There's the dip in the water, the little toe dip. Yeah, you can say you went swimming. Did you really go swimming? Not really. There's the swimming. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. There's the deep dive. There's the complete immersion. There is the full exposure to it. And that's what I've enjoyed the most. That's what's helped me the most, is exposing myself to things that are going to help every single part of my life. Well, I guess that might not be the right way to say it. Just things that are going to help me overall. That's probably a better way of saying it. And then if I want to focus on different things, there's different content for those different focuses. Like, I was trying to get better at Smash Bros. Ultimate for a good amount of time and learning really closely about competitive and combos and all this stuff. But as I've been letting go of my gaming YouTube channel and focusing more on podcasting and all this other stuff, I've been spending less time on those things. And so it's not so much a part of my life anymore. I've actually unsubscribed from a couple of those YouTube channels and things. They're great, but they're not what I need right now. They're not the best for me at this time, for sure. It's not like they weren't either before, but it was a little bit more like interesting, and I wanted to learn. And I can always go back to those things if I need, but right now I want to focus on this. So this goes along with the relationships too. Like, if you want to make progress, then stay in touch with people that are making progress. If you had told the person December 31st, 2019 that I would be where I'm at, I would be like, all right, well, that's pretty cool, because I've been doing a lot of coaching calls and mentoring calls with people, just people that I met over Instagram or other things, and I just talk with them, or LinkedIn people. And it's just developing this backlog and this continuous stream of new information, and just of this deep learning and deep introspection. So like, I'll just share a different portion of how things are going with my life, and I'll get their take, and I'll learn their opinion on it. And it's just super powerful. A big one recently was with my Uncle Mark. We were just talking, and I just said, hey, I just did some juggling, and I know you've done some juggling, and yeah, like, I just felt really calm after doing this one juggling. It was 10 minutes. I felt so focused. Like, it was just amazing. Like, what is this? And it's happened almost every time I've done some juggling. It's like, what is this magic? He's like, well, you think about it. You have to focus really hard in order to juggle. It's like this thing you just have to keep, you have to look at the balls, or you have to just be paying some degree of attention. And so it takes, there's that focus muscle that you're developing, and it just made so much sense to me. So it's like, it's kind of like meditation in a way, because you have to refocus, you have to stay focused. It's like, yeah, I guess so. That just blew my mind. I did some juggling before I did this episode because of that, because I need to build my focus muscle, and I love juggling, so it's a win-win. And yeah, so juggling is awesome. So that's one. And I try to have these different mentors in different portions of my life, just for the different parts of my life. I like to have different mentors and different things, and it's just kind of come out of nothing. And it's been super cool to see it happen, but it's come as I've gone after it and tried to let, my life have these messages that I want to share, and have just my time and my interests, my entertainment, all these things reflect where I want to go. And that's something I've been doing since I was like 16 years old. So it's super powerful, just, I don't really watch any TV shows really. A lot of it is just YouTube and learning and podcasts and stuff like that. But I still will make time for like a movie, but I really, I don't know. Just, I have a soft spot for like Disney movies and Pixar movies, but yeah, I like to, I don't know, I just like to make the most of it. So that's that. And if I don't feel I can get something out of it, then I don't know. And I can be a little stubborn in that way. And I have missed out on some good stuff before, and then come back to it and been like, wow, I totally missed this. So, but yeah, I try to always continue learn and be open to those things. Yeah, this is just another quick thought that I wrote down is just, if you want to be known as somebody that is making a difference, then just make it a part of your normal life. That's kind of what I've just said. But like with me and my podcast, if I talk about yielding today and making other people's lives better, you better believe that I'm going to try to do that when I'm just talking with people in the random. It's not like, yeah, well, I'm just going to talk about helping people from my podcast, and then when I actually get in the real world, I'm just going to be a complete shell. No, I've spent way too much time in my shell, way too much time. Even if it wasn't that much time, it was still way too much time. And I still spend some time in my shell from time to time. And I just am I like to be very creative with things so I can share them on the podcast or whatever it might be. So it comes with having this all-encompassed life. If your life is feeding your passions, then that's perfect. If your life is kind of draining your passions, then maybe you need to change your passions. Maybe you need to change your life. That's just kind of how it goes. That's pretty much it. A last little thought on this is, it's really cool when you're able to share things you're doing in your life and in your side hustles with the people in your life. So quick example of this is like 3 hours from now, in my search marketing class, we're going to be diving a little bit into some of my analytics on my YouTube channel, because it talks about click-through rates, talks about all these different things that we're talking about in class. And so it's super cool to be able to be like, yeah, I'm doing this, and to apply your learning to yourself, and to not just let it stay at that level 1 learning, or even level 2. You want level 3. So that's the main thing. So first one was just stop fighting for your limitations. Second one is to just let every single part of your life reflect your message. Number 3 is getting other people to help you on your journey. I feel like I've already talked about this, but there's still some things that I could be more specific on. So we're going to dive into those things. I guess one big thing is just that you only have one set of eyeballs. You've learned and you've grown and you've one brain, but it's best when the brains get to mesh together and you get two brains or three brains and they're willing to work together towards the same outcome. That's just super duper powerful, and you want that as much as you can get it. I like to have things kind of planned out, and having the opportunity to call different people. And I mean, a lot of the people I'm going to have in these interviews in the next a lot of the people I'm going to have on the interviews in the next 9 weeks or so are people that I've met in real life, and people that I've talked to and have very good relationships with and care a lot about, so, and that have helped me, of course, in my life too. And so you can't make it on your own. Just, I've been reading the book Outliers, and there's this one guy it talks about who's like a literal genius, but his calculus professor didn't give him the time of day to help him out, even though this guy was super duper smart and probably knew more than the teacher about calculus. The calculus teacher just looked at him, saw what he looked like, and was like, yeah, you don't know much, and just completely shut down to him, just like that, just turn the lights switch off. And so this guy just didn't really have a lot of opportunities. And so even though he was super smart, he did end up being just fine with, living and being able to provide for himself. But there were so many opportunities that he missed because he just didn't get them. And yes, there's tons of opportunities from getting them online from Instagram and reaching out and Gmail. Well, email is a big part of it, obviously. I just said Gmail because that's what I use. But anyway, I feel like that's what everybody uses now, for the most part. But there's all these different things, but there's also meeting people in real life. I keep hitting my table, and that's wrong because I know you're getting some of that feedback, and I apologize profusely for that. But so many people I've met in real life, and it's so much, I don't know, you don't really get this right now as much because we're in this pandemic situation. But it's so fun when you can just meet somebody and talk to somebody. And even though if you don't get to talk to them a ton, but you still get to meet them. There's a lot of these, book clubs, and there's Toastmasters. There's all these different things, and they have gatherings set into it so you can talk to people and you can get to know them and you can help them. For me, a big one with this is church. I think of church as not, it's been said before, like, I agree. It's like, you don't think of church as like this body shop where everybody is like a super nice car and you're like, just look at all the nice cars. No, I think of it as a hospital and everybody needs help and everybody can help somebody in some way. So let's think about me. Maybe I read a scripture this week and I was like, yeah, that was great, but it didn't really pertain to me a lot. And somebody comes to church and they are struggling hardcore, and I read something in the scriptures that could help them. So it'd be good if we talked to each other about it. And of course, the Holy Ghost helps with making those things happen. But it's better, that I've learned, to just go after it and do not wait for those opportunities to happen, but just make them and go for it. And you'll find that people will do that for you too. They will make those opportunities to talk to you and to listen to you. But it does take effort. You do need to show that you're open to it, of course. But the main thing is you want to be in a position to help people. And for me, one of the best ways for me to help people is to, one, help myself, yes, but to help other people. Because from helping other people, it helps me with helping other people. So like a good example is with my Zoom YouTube workshop. It's really small right now. It's like 3 students. It's like every Friday. So if you want to join here at the tail end, you can totally do that. I'll have a link in the description. Well, actually, just hit me up on Instagram about it. But yeah, and I've just been posting the VODs to YouTube, the videos on demands to YouTube, so people can watch them if they want. And yeah, it's really small, but I'm helping one person at a time, and we're working in this group setting to help each other build our YouTube channels. And yeah, so when I do it in a year from now, I'll have, work and experience with a couple more people, and it'll be super cool, you know? So I can be like, yeah, my friend Taylor from Comic Crash, he had this struggle, and this is exactly the same struggle you're having, so let's fix it. Let's work on it, you know? And sometimes it doesn't apply directly, but it can very much help. And so it helps to have all this perspective and all this understanding of different things. Even though there's some topics and different things I don't really not super interested in becoming an expert on, it's still nice to get an idea, like dancing. I don't really know anything about dancing, but dancing is very healthy. And yeah, like there is some people that are very good at dancing. I know a couple people that have taught dancing at BYU Idaho, and so they could talk about dancing for a while. And so it's important, like, and for me, talking with them about it helps them show, yes, I have an open mind, but also that I'm willing to learn and that I'm not staying stuck in this one little bubble. You do not want to be stuck in a bubble. Maybe this is just me, but I do not want to be stuck in a bubble. I like continuing to expand my understanding of the world. I've looked a tiny bit into like some investing stuff, a little bit into real estate. Most of it's self-improvement, let's be honest, but gradually I've been kind of expanding what I'm learning. And that's come from books. Of course, you know, I'm not talking with Jim Kwik one-on-one, but reading his book is super powerful for me. And he actually gave me a little shout out thingy. Well, he didn't shout it out thingy. It was like a comment on my Instagram. He's like, he just had this like thumbs up, or it was like the woohoo thing. And it was like, yeah, that's sweet. And then he said limitless appreciation after I said thanks. And so like, even though I don't know him, he is instructing me and mentoring me a lot in my life. So just kind of going along with this point, I'd say there's books, there's meeting people, there's podcasts, there's a lot of different things. There's LinkedIn, and there's all these super powerful resources that really weren't here 10 years ago, or at least not in as much abundance. And you can pretty much learn whatever you want to learn, and you can get perspective and guidance to do whatever you want to do. If you want to become a life coach, there's options, there's people. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but you cannot do it on your own. If you want to try doing it on your own, good luck going on a ship and guiding it, all that stuff on your own, man. I want a crew. I want people to help me out. I want to jump on someone else's boat and help them out with some of the struggles and then hop back on my own boat. I just want to help people, and the best way I can help somebody is to let others help me, really. Because if they're helping me, then I can see where I can help somebody else, or I know what it feels like to be helped. If I know what it feels like to be helped, I'll want to help other people. You know, and sometimes you feel like you can't help any other people, but I just did an episode, I just did a Dallin's Devo. It's something silly but fun I've been doing on another YouTube channel called Dallin's Devos. And I did one last night about the widow's mite, and I'll link it in the show notes here. But I just talked about how all she gave was a couple dinky little coins, but Jesus looked at that and he said she gave more than those guys who were just pretty much just like all of the coins, you know. She gave more than they did. It's because she was giving from her heart, and she was giving because she didn't really have much to give. And when you give when you don't really have a lot to give, that is powerful. And when you share with somebody, that's helpful, because it helps you know where you're at. You know, I don't know a ton about podcasting, but I'm slowly developing my understanding of it, so I could potentially help other people get on the bandwagon, you know, with it. And so it's just super powerful to know where you're at and to help out other people. And there's the quote, "We rise by lifting others." That pretty much sums up this point, is we often do better from helping out other people. And that's what I'm hoping to do with all these interviews. Some of them are people starting businesses. Some of them already have businesses. Some of them are just great people that I really look up to, and I just want them on the podcast. Some of them there's just all over the place, but I just want their voices to be heard, and I want to learn from them, because from learning from them, I will inevitably grow. I will inevitably see things and just go after it. Because lately I've decided just like, I'm going to prioritize making the smallest amount of action from this giant amount of information rather than taking zero action from, well, let me rewind that real fast. So I'd rather take one tiny bit of action from this thing that I read, rather than studying a ton of different things and getting all this studies from something else. So basically prioritizing a tiny bit of level 3 action over level 2 action. Level 2 action is still great. Studying is awesome. But applying, again, that's when it just becomes your identity and you just start going for it. So those are my main takeaways. This is the second episode. This is the episode I kind of wanted to do on my birthday. So I appreciate all of you that were patient with me and listening to Monday's episode. It has 7 downloads already, which sounds like nothing, but that's actually pretty good for a couple days. So I really appreciate it. And we're going to keep this going, and we're going to make the very best of this that we possibly can. And when I launch my new podcast, it's going to blow everybody out of the water, because I've learned so many different things from running this podcast. And there was something else that I wanted to share really quickly. There's something else I wanted to share. I don't really remember what it was. But there's some great stuff coming up. So definitely subscribe to the show, Y.I.E.L.D Today, on YouTube. Follow on Instagram. And check out all the links in the show notes, because there is going to be some great stuff. Interview coming up on the 15th. And yeah, wait, now I remember what I was going to say. So there was like 2 months ago where I said I was going to upload a video on Thursday, a podcast episode on Thursday, and my Uncle Mark told me that he was looking forward to that episode, and then it didn't come out. And he's like, you have to deliver when you say this. It's like Amazon or something. I don't think he said it's like Amazon, but I'm just throwing that out there. So today I have proven it to you guys that I can do 2 episodes in a week, although I just want to do it weekly for now. I have been able to prove that we have done it twice in a week successfully. And that's really amazing to me. I love proving myself wrong and being able to just go that extra mile, and also just be able to learn and grow. And just a super fast personal experience, because I think you guys would appreciate this. I just decided to... I really have been trying to get my morning routine figured out. I feel like I can say this over and over again, and it's still true. But today, I feel like we really made some good progress. I want to be on my computer working on something by 11. I want to be up by like 7 and learning in scriptures and different things from 7 to 9, and then breakfast. And then 10 o'clock is when I do some kind of exercise. You know, I've already done my push-ups in the morning just to get it out of the way and just to wake up. But at 10 is like when I run or do something like that, at least for now. And so today I was just like, but I don't want to run an 800, like even an 800 sprinting sounds like a lot right now, or a mile. So I just literally jogged an 800, which was super easy. That was like my warm-up back in high school at practice. But I did it. It's kind of hot here right now. And yeah, so I did that. And then I walked 400 meters. And then I just sprinted the last 400 meters. So I did a mile. But I did some good thinking, and there was all this other value that I feel like that came out of that. Even though there wasn't a ton of progress, it's developing the habit. So super powerful stuff. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Just the three echoes again really fast to you. Do not keep fighting for your limitations. Number 2, let every single part of your life reflect your message. And 3, get other people to help you out on your journey, because it is a journey. It is a step-by-step process. Trust the process. Learn from the process. It's going to happen over time. And yeah, just start today. Like, whatever you want to do, start right now. Just hit me up. Call me. I would talk to you. Just hit me up on Instagram or something. Just say, hey, Dallin, this is what I want to do. Like, I will be behind you. I will help you out. I don't have a ton on my plate right now. Okay, I kind of do, but I can always make room for helping you out with achieving your dreams. And my Instagram actually is at Dream Chaser Dallin, so it fits. And that's about it. So thank you all so much for listening. And I really appreciate all of you for taking some time out of your day. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. I've been trying to make it better and better. So hopefully it's been noticed a little bit, but I'm having a lot of fun. So thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the interview coming on the 15th. I will see you guys then. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.